2,000 years ago, the Romans built the richest empire on earth and then bankrupted themselves, not through war or invasion, but through the same financial mistakes we're making right now. They understood something we've forgotten. Money is never neutral. It's a weapon, a promise, and a lie, all at once. These were the money rules of empire, the lessons that built Rome, and the mistakes that destroyed it. And every single one of them still applies today. At its height, Rome ruled over a quarter of humanity, more than 60 million people. From the Atlantic to the Euphrates, trade ships filled the seas, markets overflowed with gold and silk, and the emperor's face was stamped on every coin, a daily reminder that his rule was eternal. The Roman denarius was as trusted as today's dollar, until it wasn't. In the beginning, Roman money was real, silver and gold with weight, with value, with honesty. When a Roman bought bread, he paid in metal, labor condensed into coin, value you could hold in your hand. But as the empire grew, its money turned from tool to weapon. Conquest made Rome rich. New slaves, new mines, new taxes. War paid for itself, as long as Rome kept winning. But what happens when you build an economy on expansion, and expansion stops? Rome found out, the same way we will, through financial illusion. When the wars slowed, the emperors panicked. They borrowed, taxed, and debased their currency, printing lies instead of silver. The rich got richer. The people got crushed under debt and inflation. And trust, the empire's true currency, began to die. Sound familiar? Rome's thinkers saw it happening. Cato warned that a nation obsessed with luxury would rot from within. Cicero said greed destroys faster than invasion. Seneca wrote, "Wealth is the slave of the wise and the master of the fool." Marcus Aurelius called fortune a temptation, not freedom. They weren't giving moral lectures, they were diagnosing collapse. Because in Rome, economics was morality. And when morality died, so did the Republic. The Romans knew money isn't neutral. It's power, stamped in metal. Every coin was a propaganda. Augustus printed pax, peace, to remind people who saved them. Nero burned half of Rome, then minted coins showing overflowing cornucopias. Trajan turned his victories into pocket-sized press releases. Every denarius said the same thing. Your wealth exists because your ruler does. 2,000 years later, the theater hasn't changed. The metals became paper. Paper became digital. But the faces and promises still there. Money is still propaganda you can spend. Rome ran on credit. Farmers borrowed to plant. Merchants borrowed to trade. Generals borrowed to wage war. Debt was fuel, but also a chain. Default, and you lost everything, even your freedom. The elites learn it fast. Debt controls people better than legions ever could. Keep them owing, and they'll keep obeying. Caesar used debt forgiveness to buy loyalty. Emperors used it to buy time. Rome's problem wasn't debt, it was dependency. We've just renamed it. Usury became credit expansion. Servitude became consumer finance. Different words, same chains. Rome began with simplicity and ended with spectacle. Its founders were farmers and soldiers. Its last elites were party kings and collectors. Gold leaf ceilings replaced wooden roofs. Feasts lasted all night. Peacocks were roasted and served whole. Feathers reattached for show. Cato called luxury a sickness eating the bones of the Republic. He was right. Once comfort became culture, discipline died. And when the economy stumbled, no one remembered restraint. Luxury became identity, and collapse became inevitable. Sound familiar? Rome had silk and marble. We have influencers and brand deals. The difference is lighting. For centuries, the denarius was sacred. Then emperors began to cheat the coin. Nero clipped 10% of the silver. Caracalla took more. By Diocletian's time, the denarius was 1% silver, a coin made of lies. Prices exploded. Merchants refused the money. Soldiers demanded gold or food. People watched their savings vanish. When the empire tried to force prices by law, the markets died. The trust was replaced with fear, always the final stage before collapse. We call it quantitative easing. Rome called it debasement. Different tools, same disaster. By the 4th century, Rome's money was worthless. Taxes were paid in grain, armies in land or loot. Trade collapsed. The empire didn't run out of money, it ran out of belief. Because money is just a story people agree to believe. When that story breaks, everything else follows. The barbarians didn't destroy Rome. They walked into a vacuum of faith. The empire's collapse didn't start with swords. It started with spreadsheets. And when people lost faith in their money, they stopped defending their empire. Today, the dollar is our denarius. We print, we borrow, we inflate, and we call it growth. Our luxuries define us. Our debt enslaves us. Our leaders print illusions and call it prosperity. Rome didn't fall in flames. It fell in silence when belief died. And history's whisper still echoes. Money isn't just currency, it's character. And when a civilization forgets that, collapse isn't a question of if, it's a matter of when. If this gave you a new perspective, subscribe. Because history has the answers. You just need to know where to look.